Sponsored by Business Northwest Exhibition and Conference.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's Business News. I'm joined this evening by Dougal Paver of Paver and Smith, the Northwest's largest PR company.
Right.
Now, just before we get into tonight's business news, I have a fascination with public relations and everything that you guys do, whether you're a company or private individual, etc. But I'm sure some of our viewers might wonder exactly what is public relations all about.
OK. We give the media positive news and opinions and information from our clients. They analyse that, they carry that forward to their audience groups, who are stakeholders for our customers, really.
Spin doctors?
You could put it like that. I mean, that's a misused phrase, really.
Right.
We just provide information and analysis, and the media take it, make their judgments on it, and then carry that forward to their audience groups.
Now, it would seem that there's a lot of firms out there today that need the services of a good PR company.
Yep.
New report out today showing that a lot of companies are struggling in the recession, not because of the recession, but because of first impressions.
Yep.
And the report today shows that 1 in 4 of us, if we have a bad experience with a retail company or any kind of service,
Yep.
we refuse to go back to that company.
Yep.
How big an issue is this for the UK?
You only get one chance to make a first impression, so it's a big issue for every business out there, really. I think businesses and consumers are more forgiving of companies who make a mistake. What they want to see is that those companies are trying hard to put it right, because we all make mistakes in our life. We don't always get everything as right as we'd like it to be. So I think the key is how you try to make amends. I think that's the deal.
So it's OK to make a mistake as long as you seem to actually try and rectify that mistake later?
Indeed, and research shows that if you are seen to do that, the loyalty that you'll earn from that customer is greater than if you didn't make the mistake in the first place. So I've heard of companies that have a policy of making mistakes so that they can then recover from them and win greater loyalty from their customers.
That's a very dangerous tactic, but it does actually make me think of my next point. And I'm going to sound very unpatriotic here, but
OK.
When I'm doing business here in the UK, whether it's on the high street or whatever,
Yep.
I generally find the level of service here in the UK is poor compared to that of, say, the US and the rest of Europe. Does the UK suffer from what I like to refer to as the Basil Fawlty syndrome?
That might be a little harsh on the UK, I think. Service standards here quite clearly have improved dramatically in the last 15 years. I think UK PLC has learned that high standards of service are the minimum, because as we've travelled more across the world, we've come back to the UK and frankly expect more. And companies have had to deliver that. I think we've improved a lot. I think we've got further to go. I think it's not part of our culture as a society. We don't do service. We don't do humble like they do on the continent. And I think that's part of the problem there. We need to change the culture a little.
Now, a lot of this negative press seems to be coming from places such as Facebook and Twitter. Yeah. Another report out today would suggest, and I find this absolutely amazing, that the workplace in the UK loses, on average, 40 minutes per person on things like Facebook and Twitter, which is the equivalent of losing 1 full week to each employee in a business. Yeah. What can companies do to actually stop this?
I don't think they can stop it. I don't think it's a realistic expectation. I think the key lies in the company's culture. If they have a culture of valuing their employees, involving them in the business's key decisions, if they keep them informed about how the company's performing and what their role is in terms of helping drive the company forward, you build loyalty, you build understanding, and you build care. And
just very quickly before we end, on the other side of the coin, employers are using social networking sites more and more to actually vet potential employees.
Yep.
Is this something that is really infringing on people's personal rights, or is this a useful, genuine tool that people should use when they're looking at new candidates for roles?
I think if you don't want information in the public domain, don't put it there. If it's in the public domain, it's there to be viewed. You have to make a very careful judgment about what you put out there on the internet, because anyone can find it. So I think it's incumbent on employees to think wisely about how they use Facebook and Twitter.
That's absolutely wonderful, Dougal. Thank you very much for joining us. Over to Ian now for all the sports news. Thank you very much.
Sponsored by Business Northwest Exhibition and Conference.